Guys, and welcome back to this tutorial. In this lecture we are going to discuss SOAP APIs. As we already saw a few things about REST APIs, and we are also going to do a comparison on a later lecture in between these two types of APIs. Before that, let's see some specific things about SOAP APIs, what they are, when they are used, so you know which API you can choose when trying to implement one of your own. So, first of all, SOAP represents a tool that makes systems using different operating systems communicate via HTTP requests using exclusively XML packages of data. SOAP-based APIs are made to create, recover, update, and delete records, basically perform CRUD operations on them, just like REST APIs are. A few examples of data models that can be manipulated might be a user, some general objects, and so on. The SOAP API's requests can then be used with all those languages that support web services like JavaScript, Python, or C# to name a few. The main advantage of these APIs is the flexibility that developers have when it comes to the programming language you can write them in, as their concretization is the making of web-based protocols like HTTP that are already compatible with all the languages and operating systems also. The S in the SOAP naming of SOAP APIs stands for simple, and the SOAP protocol only provides the simple base for complex implementations. This base is made up of 5 parts. The envelope is the first part, which is the tag that specifies whether an XML is a SOAP response. As I told you before, the way the SOAP APIs are communicating and the way they put their information is through an XML file, which is an extensible markup language file that has its own tags and it's used to transfer data. We will have a whole lecture on that type of file later on. Now we also have the header as part of a SOAP protocol, and this one is actually optional. Next we have the body, which is the most important part. It is basically the most of the SOAP message, so it contains the bigger part of the information that is sent. And also, lastly, we have the fault tag, which is the last component of SOAP APIs. And this tag of fault is placed inside the body, and what it does, it specifies error messages that might appear within that request or response. Now, talking about some more advantages when it comes to the SOAP protocol are its properties of neutrality. That means that it works on a wide variety of protocols from HTTP to SMTP. And also another property that constitutes an advantage when talking about SOAP APIs would be their extensibility. So thank you guys for sticking with me to the end of this tutorial. This was about it with the presentation of SOAP APIs. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one, where we will take a look at a comparison between SOAP APIs and REST APIs, so we can furthermore understand which one is better to choose depending on our current situation and our implementation needs.